welcome Cody Davis. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? More importantly, is everybody becoming more aware today? Yes? Heard one yes. Can I get anybody else to say yes? There we go. Because that's what we're here to do today, right? Bring awareness towards recovery. Continue to recover out loud, as they say. My name is Cody Davis, and I am a person in long-term recovery. And what that means to me today is that since January 28th of 2017, I have been actively engaged in a program of recovery that includes abstinence from drugs and alcohol. I am an addiction counselor, I am a treatment provider, a business owner, and I serve on numerous nonprofits to support recovery-related services. But I am not here today as any of those things. I am here today as an advocate for the voice that do not have a voice today. And that is the voice of the individuals who are currently incarcerated because they have a substance use disorder or a mental health disorder. Let me ask by a show of hands by some brave souls, who here has been incarcerated as a result of their substance use disorder? Me too. Me too. And you know what? I can have the perspective today that, was my initial arrest helpful? Yes. Yes, it was. Was me even being initially locked down helpful? Absolutely. But was any sort of length of time incarcerated helpful to me or give me any sort of tools to not end up back in jail again? And the answer is no. Incarceration is not treatment. I will say it again. Incarceration is not treatment.
Thank you.
One of the beautiful things about our court system today, though, is that they agree with that statement. They absolutely do. Here in Cherokee County, Cobb County, Fulton County, Gwinnett County, all of the major metro Atlanta counties will agree that treatment over incarceration is absolutely the answer. But why is it so hard for people to find treatment here in Georgia if they are struggling with a legal issue? Want to discuss a couple of different things today. We are discussing addressing the recidivism rate in our state, meaning individuals who are habitual offenders, continuously getting caught with drugs and alcohol, continuing to have petty crimes to support their habits. We have three major points that we need to talk about. First and foremost, we have to get our lawmakers on the same page. Collaborate and educate them on the proper terminology of the medical terms for treatment today. Second, we have to expand the criteria for acceptable forms of treatment in our state.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have to come together as a community in order to solve this problem. This isn't just a court problem. This isn't just a treatment provider problem. This is a community problem. Because guess what? These individuals who are sick, who are getting locked down because they can't stop using, they're our brothers. They're our sisters. They are our mothers, our fathers, our neighbors, our co-workers. They are us. And that is why we have to be involved. So I want to first talk about that education and collaboration with local lawmakers. Okay, so what I mean by that is, okay, we have plenty of courts right now that are willing to send somebody to treatment instead of sending them to prison or sending them to jail. But their option then becomes this. You can be mandated for 1 year to a residential treatment program or to an inpatient treatment program. Guess what? That doesn't exist. Inpatient implies 3 to 5 days with a hospital stay. Not a treatment program, hospital. Residential treatment, part of the definition is 24/7 nursing care. For anybody that knows anything about treatment, there is no program in the state of Georgia that exists like that. So, then what becomes our problem? We have judges, we have VAs giving out these mandates to programs that don't exist. So when somebody is finally reaching that point in their early recovery of reaching out for help, saying, hey, you know what? I want this treatment. I want to do something differently. And then they're calling around, they're trying to write letters to treatment programs. Well, guess what? Those treatment programs aren't a year-long inpatient. They're not a year-long residential treatment. And so the treatment providers are telling these individuals, hey, sorry, we don't offer that. And what the person on the other end of that phone is hearing is, I can't do it. And if I get told I can't do it over and over again, I will give up. Because I don't have the tools necessary to cope. So we have to be able to get these lawmakers to understand what the definitions of the different levels of care are. It's a very simple fix. But it is a absolute necessity so that we can all get on the same page. Which that would bring me into my next talking point, which is expanding the criteria for acceptable forms of treatment. So as I said before, the courts are great now at being able to say, hey, yes, we will send you to treatment instead of sending you to jail or sending you to prison. So what they did was they created a wonderful organization called the Transitional Housing for Offenders Reentry Program, otherwise known as THOR. Okay? And what THOR does is they certify and credential programs for best ethical practice for individuals who are housing individuals coming out of incarceration. There is a very important word in there. Housing. Housing is not the same as treatment. Housing can be great for accountability, be great for helping somebody get a job, all that good stuff, but it is not treatment. According to the prison, I'm going to list the organization's name. Prison Coalition for the state of Georgia. Currently, there's 102,000 people incarcerated in the state of Georgia right now. Over half of those individuals have an admitted substance use disorder or mental health disorder. That means well over 50,000 people are currently sitting in jail or sitting in prison because they're just sick. Now, on the THOR directory, there are 64 programs. 64. Out of those 64 programs that are approved places for people to go out of incarceration, only 20% of them have a licensed therapist on staff. That's an issue. Why is it an issue? Well, because, as I've said before, housing is not treatment. Peer support recovery is wonderful. Where are my peers out here? All my peer support specialists. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Peer support is a wonderful tool, but guess what peer support does not do? Peer support does not treat trauma. It's not there to treat trauma. And guess what? If you were somebody who has been incarcerated, whether it was from the lifestyle that led up to your incarceration or from being incarcerated itself, you have trauma. And what we have learned over the years is that if you do not deal with trauma, trauma will deal with you. So sending people to these places that it is just peer ran, there's not a licensed therapist on staff, they're not getting help. And we're wondering why people are ending up back in jail so quickly. Wondering why they couldn't even complete probation. The truth is, we have to expand the criteria. Because while THOR is a wonderful organization, they are not the end-all, be-all to our problem. I want to talk about three other organizations here real quick. Okay, there is GAR, JACO, and CAR. GAR is the Georgia Association of Recovery Residents, and they certify sober livings, transitional housing, and treatment centers that are treating individuals with a substance use disorder or mental health disorder. The Joint Commission and CAR are the golden seal standards in treating both mental and behavioral health. Here's the interesting part about these three organizations. THOR has decided within the past year that if you want to be a THOR approved program, you also have to be able to be accredited through Joint Commission, CARB, or both. So why is that? Because even Ford has recognized that they need the experts in substance abuse treatment to be the experts in substance abuse treatment. So why can our courts not accept those same accreditations as an acceptable form of treatment? So the third piece is, what can we do as a community? Because I'm sure there's plenty of people sitting here saying, well, guess what? I'm not a judge. I'm not a district attorney. I can't make these decisions. I can't do anything about it. You absolutely can. You have the most powerful thing in the world, and it is your voice. Be the voice for the voiceless. And what can you do? Write to your local judge. Write to your local district attorney. Ask them, have they considered expanding the criteria for acceptable forms of treatment for individuals? Because I noticed that our prison system is overflowing with people. We could use more places. And guess what? GAR, Joint Commission, and CARB all represent over 200 providers in the state of Georgia. So if the courts would accept these forms of accreditation as an acceptable form of treatment, we would go from 64 available programs to over 300 overnight. So what you can do as a community member is you can write to your local judges, you can write to your local district attorneys. You can go to your local sober living, local treatment centers. Ask, hey, I would love to learn about your program. Not because I need it, but because I want to know what's going on in my community. And I want to know who can I promote. Be the voice of the voiceless. The only way we can recover is together. And I'm not talking about every single person here has to be in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I am talking about recovering from the human condition. Because we all suffer from that. Be the voice of the voiceless. Show up and recover loudly. Thank you so much.